grade, it's Miss Brannis, and today we're going to do some research, and we're going to be working with keyword searches and Boolean searches. So you have a worksheet that you can download and print, and we're going to be doing this together. So the very first one is on page 20, and that's the one with the soccer ball. I have that one up already, and it says, Carlos loves to play soccer. He wants to find some soccer books to bring home from his school library. He knows that he should type in the word soccer, but he doesn't know which would be better, a keyword search or a subject search. He decides to try both. A keyword search returns over 200 records, which is just too many. A subject search returns 75 records, which is still too many. Since he's not sure of the exact subject he's interested in, he goes back to the keyword search. This time he uses a suggestion on the screen and types soccer and training. This time a list of 8 titles come up, and they're just what he is looking for. So we have 4 questions that are based on Carlos's experience here with his searches that he did in the library. And we're going to go over this in the card catalog system. Now I'm going to show you what to do. And there's such a cool thing I cannot wait to show you that the card catalog can do for you when you're doing your searches. But first we're just going to answer these questions, and then at the very end I'm going to show you a special place you can go to search for books. So our first question is, what appears to be more accurate, a subject search or a keyword search? And by looking at that and by reading that over, I hope you would realize that a subject search is more accurate. Remember, a subject search is a more refined search. It gives you less results. A keyword search gives you more. So a subject search is a little bit more accurate than a keyword search is. So why did adding the word "and" help Carlos's search? And we kind of talked about this already because it narrowed the results. So by linking "and" with soccer and training, it narrowed the results to find books that were just about soccer and training and nothing else. What do you think would have happened if Carlos had typed in soccer, not training? What would have happened is the results would have nothing to do with training. When you type in "not," that kind of crosses things out. So if you would have typed in soccer, not training, it would have brought about soccer and the history, soccer and rules, but nothing about soccer and training. So it would have nothing to do with that. You would find no books on that because you added that word "not." And "not" just means no. You don't want any books about that. So when you type in "not," it basically is saying, nope, don't want it. So "not" is really useful to use, and it's very powerful because it can really narrow those searches even more. Finally, our very last question here. A keyword search looks over the entire records for a word, but a subject search only looks at the subject headings for the word. When might a keyword search be more helpful? When might a subject search be more helpful? So when you think about it, and we've done a lot of talking about this, and I'm going to show you where to go in the card catalog where you can actually do this. A keyword search would be more helpful if you wanted a lot of books on a subject. So if you wanted a lot of books on a subject, you would do a keyword search. But a subject search would be more helpful. If you wanted more specific results. So if you wanted a book on just that particular subject, you would do a subject search. If you wanted a book about a lot of topics and you're not sure what you really wanted, you would do a keyword search. So keyword always means more, subject is much more narrow. So going to our second page here, this is Boolean searches. This is where we're going to be using and, or, and not. And this is really fun because you can do so much with this and you can really narrow down searches, especially in the card catalog system, which is so fun to do. And I love doing Boolean searches, or we call them power searches in the card catalog, because you can find so many books that way. So a Boolean search involves the use of three main terms: and, or, and not. It is a way to narrow down a keyword search by limiting the results. An example of how a Boolean search works is shown below. You need to find information about ecology, specifically about the effects of water pollution on ecology outside of the United States. Typing the following keywords into the library's computer using the Boolean terms and not would get the information you need. So you would do ecology and water pollution and not United States. And what I'm going to show you is that this is already actually typed in for you, and I'm going to show you how to use it in our card catalog system so you don't even have to type it. So we're going to go through these 4 questions here and figure out what Boolean searches we're going to use. So we're going to create Boolean searches for the following research questions, and we're going to use the Boolean search terms in boldface below, and we're going to write our answers on the lines provided. So the very first one here, I'm just going to scoop my paper up, is what are the problems of acid rain in the rainforest? So you need to look for acid rain. That's one of the terms you're going to work with. Rainforest is another one you're going to work with. And problem. So those are the 3 terms you're going to be working with. So when you put it together, you have to think of what is kind of similar and what is different. Because we're going to use or and we're going to use and. So acid rain and rainforest are very similar to each other. So that'll be where our or goes. So it's going to be acid rain or rainforest. And problems. Because when the computer searches, it's going to search for acid rain and problems that can happen, or it's going to search for rainforest and problems that can happen. So your problems have to go by that and, because these 2 things are very similar to each other and you're trying to find the problems that go with them. So I hope that makes sense, and once you start doing this for a little while, it will start to make sense, and especially when you start doing it on our card catalog system, you can really see the difference. So how can you make pizza at home? This is a little harder. We're definitely going to be talking about pizza, but there are 2 things that are not listed in our Boolean searches. When you make pizza at home, what are you looking at? You usually look for recipe books. So you're looking for recipes. When you make pizza at home, you're looking for recipes. And what are you not going to go to? You're not going to go to restaurants. So you have to kind of read the question and think about it on what would make sense. So how can you make pizza at home? It would be pizza and recipes and not restaurants. So that one you kind of have to look at the sentence, look at the question, and figure out what is missing. So you really want recipes, and you don't want anything to do with restaurants. So you do pizza and recipes and not restaurants. How do you groom a long-haired dog? Well, of course, we're working with dogs and groom and not. So we have to look at this right here. So we're looking for dog and grooming. And not what? We have long-haired dogs, so if we're looking for not long-haired dogs, what would be the opposite? It would be short-haired dogs. So that's where you have to look at those Boolean searches, because you want not. So of course, and not would be the opposite. So we're looking for long-haired dogs, so the opposite would be short-haired dogs. So when you do a Boolean search, when you do a search for this, you would find books about dog grooming and long-haired dogs, because you don't want any short-haired dogs at all. That's something that you don't want with grooming. Finally, our very last one. Where can you find information on battery-operated portable CD players? And this would be if you were doing a report on them to see what they were. So we know we want battery-operated. That's one of our search terms. Portable is another. And CD players. So what is similar in here when you're thinking about it? What would go first? Well, we want to find information on what? We want to find information on CD players. So that would go first. That's what we want to find information on. We want to find information on CD players. And what else do we want to find information on? We want to find information on things that are battery operated. Or portable. So your main focus here is the CD players and anything that's battery operated, or any CD players that are portable. So that is how your search term will look. And I know this seems kind of confusing right now, but when you actually start using it, it isn't. So we're going to go back to our PC here. And boys and girls, do not forget, you can go onto Clever. And when you do, you can sign on. And my sign-in is going to look a little different because I'm a teacher. I don't have a student account. And when you log on, you're going to notice that you're going to log in and click on Miss Francis's library. That's where you're going to go. When you click on Miss Francis's library, you have two choices. One is the Google Sites, which is the library online, which you're doing right now. And the second one is Follett Destiny Card Catalog. So you can just click back on that to Card Catalog. And remember, you click on Mary Queen School Library to get in. And we've talked a lot about this, how to use the library card catalog. But this is what we haven't talked about, power. So at the very top, you can change it. Make sure if you change it back, you have to change it back. You have to change it to basic, that's the original. But then you can change it to power at the very top. And this is where you can do Boolean searches. right here on the computer where you don't have to type in and or not. It's already there for you. You just have to click on it. So this is a really fun way to look for books. So I love dogs. So I'm going to do dogs. And I already want and, so that's already clicked for me. And mystery. Maybe I want a dog mystery book. Not young adult. Because I don't want any books about young adult. So you can see that I clicked. So dogs and mystery are going to be searched together, but I don't want any books about young adult because I can't check those out because I'm in 5th grade. So you're going to do a search. And you're going to find that we still have 65 books that talk about mysteries of dogs that aren't young adult, which is still a pretty good number. Remember, you can click on Show All. You have to wait for it to load. Then you click on the title. This is The Mystery of the Midnight Dog. You can read the summary, which is while visiting a small town in Alabama, the Alvins hear mysterious howls at midnight, leading them to wonder if an old local legend about a ghost dog is true. And if that's a book you want, remember you click on See All. You make sure it's not a young adult, which it shouldn't be because we did a Boolean search about that, a power search thing. We didn't want any, so it shouldn't be a young adult. It's available. Remember, you don't write down barcode. It won't help you. It won't help me. But you can write down the call number, which is FICWAR. So if this is a book you want, you can always email me, but you have to email me the whole title, The Mystery of the Midnight Dog, and then the call number, which is FICWAR. And then I will be more than happy to check it out for you. So then you can go back to Library Search, and you can type in more and different searches. Just be careful when you change them that your cursor is where it should be, because sometimes it'll flip back up. So you just have to be very careful when you're typing, and you have to be very careful when you click on those dots that you know where your cursor's at. So if I do cat, and I do not dog, and mystery, I can do a power search or a Boolean search, and I come up with 10 books. And you can look through here, decide if there's one you want. You can click on the title, read the summary. Remember, click on See All. We didn't type in young adult this time, so maybe a young adult book would have popped up, but it didn't. We see the sublocation is not a young adult or a teacher resource or 6 trades, so we can check this one out. It's available. Remember, don't write down barcode. That won't help you. That won't help me. And here's the call number, FICMAR. So if you wanted this book, you can email me and you can say, Ms. Rennes, I want Christy and the Cat Burglar, and the call number is FICMAR. Then you just go right back to Library Search, and it brings you back to there. And then don't forget to change it back to power, or change it back to basic. First it's on power, then it's on basic. So make sure you always end on basic. That way you remember that it's just your regular way of searching for books. So remember, it's found up here, power's there, basic is there. Always make sure it's on basic when you leave. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoy searching for books. I'll see you next week in library. Bye.